Howdy, I'm here and I'm gonna try to show you guys, especially John because I know he's already bought it, how to use Affinity Designer to lay out something really simple like the sermon notes. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, my plan here, just to make it something real that has to do with something that we really do, is I'm gonna open like the last sermon notes that I was sent. I'm just gonna open the preview, and basically I'm just gonna do this thing from scratch in Affinity Designer. Show you how it works. So just kind of be copying that, whatever. The first time doing a screen recording, so I don't know. Hopefully this will work out good. Hopefully I'm not wasting my time. So Affinity Designer, if you notice that marked very similar, it's Affinity Photo. So they also have a very good photo editing software, which is replacing my Photoshop, because Photoshop, Adobe, they are extorting money from people, charging a monthly fee for renting software. It's ridiculous. I hope no one ever pays for that. But anyway, Affinity Photo. But anyway, Affinity Designer, open it up. And I always like to work full screen myself, so I'll do it. Okay, so basically this is what it's going to look like when you open it up. I think this is what it's going to look like. I don't know. I may have modified this somewhat for what I like to do. Let me see. Where am I at here? So I don't confuse you guys. View. Let's see here. I may have modified that over there. Some view mode. That's a little different. Views. Is there nothing there? Okay. Views. Nothing. Studio. Oh, here we go. Media browser. Toolbar. I'm just gonna have to apologize to you guys. Listen, if you're using Affinity Photo, or rather Designer, and you start it up, it doesn't quite look the same. I apologize, and I'm not sure. I may have modified this for what the things that I need, or I may have moved things around a little bit. So I'm sorry if you don't see quite the same thing. As we go, I'll try to explain what I'm using so that you could find it if you need to find it. All right, but basically you'll see this. All right. Everything's grayed out because I don't have any document open here, so my tools, I can't really do anything with them. So go ahead and go to File and New, like you would normally do with anything. You'll get something like this. Now, I always, on the type of document, I always have Print. I think that's probably the default. Print, press ready. This is going to be if you're going to send it out to some like print shop, so you just want this one, print. You can print it yourself. Photo, web, devices, whatever. There's, of course, if we're doing the bulletin, or rather the sermon notes, we're going to want print, right? It's going to be something we're going to print, right? I always use A4. You can choose letter, because I guess the printer at the church uses letter size, 8.5 by 11. I always use A4. I always like to use millimeters. It seems like a lot easier to just use millimeters to lay out, more simple. This is Create Artboard. This is almost always good to check, I think. Even if you're doing a single document, it's probably good to check. If you do check it, it's easier to turn it into a multi-page document, at least as far as I know and the way I've been using it. So I would hit Create Artboard. Okay, color format, RGB 8, because again, this is really professional level software. So you've got your choices for like print and pre-press, and when you do different things, you would want to use different color profiles and stuff. So, but print, basically RGB 8 is good. It's perfectly fine, and whatever. I know about these things. Probably a lot of people don't, but anyway, whatever. So create artboard, you want that checked. It's going to make things easier. Portrait mode, is going to be what you want. 300 DPI is kind of important, so I would leave that. It's probably default. If it's not, I would hit 300. Technically, for me, I actually should set it at 360 because I know my printer actually prints at 360 DPI default, but it's not a big deal, and I just leave it. You know, if I print on another printer or something, then this is almost always going to be correct, and it's not a big problem to use even with my printer, so whatever. Technically, it should match your printer, but which is going to be almost always 300. For my printer, I have a 360, but whatever. So that is that. I think it's good. Include margins. You don't need to do this, and I recommend that you don't, because it's sort of to be honest with this it's going to end up being guidelines rather than hard margins. I'm pretty sure. So it wouldn't really be a big deal. It's just going to be guides to show you where the margins would be. But anyway, there's no real sense in doing it. So I would just recommend you leave them off. So anyway, you don't understand how this works yet, so you might think that's weird to leave them off, but I think after you see how it works, it might make sense that we would leave them off. So anyway, okay, and there we go. All right. Because of the simplicity of the document we're creating, I started to just think that maybe I should explain this layer stuff here, but I don't think it's really important for this, so I'm just going to get started here. All right, so you got a bunch of tools on the left here. This is Move Tool. I like to call it Selection Tool. This is Artboard Tool. Now, this is what we'll use when we want to create a second page. Right now, there's a single page, and when you're typing in here, there's not going to be automatically a second page. That doesn't work that way. Basically, you got to tell this program what you want it to do, and that's the beauty of it, really. So anyway, we'll get to this later. This is stuff that gets into the more really design stuff. You're not going to really need that. Node tool, I'm not going to go really through these. Corner tool, blah, 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 blah. This sometimes, no, I don't think I'm going to use this today, but it could be something in the future you'll want. Place image tool, you want to put something in there. All right, so crop, vector crop tool. Haven't used that yet. It should be good for me anyway. But anyway, here's what we want. We want text. The sermon notes, obviously, primarily text, right? However, if you notice, there's a little triangular thing here telling you there's going to be a flyout if you push and hold on this. All right, so it says Artistic Text Tool right now. I don't know if that's that way by default. It might not be. It might look a little bit different to you. So don't be surprised. But there should be this doohickey here, which tells you if you press and hold, you're going to get a flyout. So what might be here by default? It might be this icon. So that's a frame text tool. All right. So artistic text tool you want for your your headlines, maybe for like one line of text or just a couple of words or something like that. A frame text tool is when you want to type paragraphs and text that you want to keep together. Now, when you choose this, it's gonna, within that frame, whatever frame you create, more or less, you're gonna start within that frame. You're gonna start operating like a Word document, more or less, how you type text and how you space it and stuff. It's still much more flexible than word processing, Word or anything like that. But you really only want to use this when you really have to, as much as possible. So yeah, definitely when you're using paragraphs and stuff, you want to use this. But when anything's relatively short, you're going to want to use this Artistic Text Tool. And hopefully as we go through this, it'll kind of make it clear why. It gives you a lot more flexibility. All right, so I'm going to let off here. And so my Artistic Text Tool. Now, I cannot just start typing right away. I have to click somewhere. So I'm going to do the headline or the header or the title up here. So what I'm going to do is click down here because I want to show you how this works. It doesn't matter if I click up here or not. And at the beginning, whatever. This is layout software. more than anything. You're just trying to get your stuff down on the page, all right? So you just get it down, then make it look good is generally a better way to work. All right, so I'm going to start typing here, but I forgot what I need to type. I think it's Kingdom Thinking. In fact, it is, so I'll just type it. So I've clicked there. I can move that out of the way. And Kingdom Thinking, right? I don't know. I may have said Kingdom Typing, whatever. Kingdom Thinking. Now, I'm not going to copy in Japanese at the moment. I'm just going to go with the English for right now. All right? Now, I've typed it. Good, great. I can't really do much until I get out of this tool, because this tool is made for just what I just did. To do, to move this around or anything, I want to get out of this tool. I need to go back up here, click on my Move tool. All right. So now, it's way in the wrong place. But I want it up here. I don't have to grab my Enter, my Delete key and start tinkering with that. I just grab it and put it where I want it. Oh, what's that green line? Well, that green line is an automatic, aligner, basically. That's telling me the right end of my text is with the center of the page. But I can move it over. Oh, now I'm right in the center of the page. So, we're aligned. No hassle, no fuss. All right. Now, Kingdom Thinking is an Arial, which I think as much as possible stay away from, because it's just so common and overused. It's boring. You've got your font size, text size, bold, italic, underline and stuff like that. Basically, this is not a good size, right? This is too small. I mean, we could leave it that size, but generally we're going to want a little bigger, right? So instead of coming over here and goofing around with this, it's in this program, it's not that bad. It's better than Word, because I can just click on it. I got my flyout, and watch as I scroll over. It gets smaller, and right about there. Well, no, that's too big. But I'm just scrolling over here, and it's giving me an idea of what size. Now, even that is a lot better than Word. It just gives you an idea where you really want to be instead of guessing. But that's not the best way to do it. Best way to do it is click this and drag it. Yeah, that's about right. For me, it is. I like really big. I know it's bigger than most people like it, but actually, big is actually really good. Big and bold is good, so I recommend it actually. But anyway, that's all you got to do. Now you notice when I did drag it, there's a way to drag it and make it stay in the same place, but I didn't do it. I just dragged it to the size that I liked, and then when I did that, it kind of got out of center. So I just moved it back. No big deal, right? Now we're back in the center. It's probably a little too high. Drag it down a little bit. All right. So that is good. Now the same thing here. I don't like Arial. I'm going to have to recenter this in a second. So click on here, but as I scroll through, it gives me, I don't have to play around with this, guessing which I might want. I'm going to go ahead and go with this for now. Something a little different. Different is good. It gives the people idea that it was actually thought about and designed rather than just thrown on the page with Word. But anyway, so I'll go ahead and hit this. Now different fonts have different spacings and sizes, and things change a little. So this may have gotten off center. It did. All right, that should be better. Now every once in a while, this automatic alignment thing, it can be a hassle sometimes too. But anyway, generally it's very helpful. All right, because it snaps sometimes where you don't quite want it, because it will also align with other things as I get them on the page. And so there's Kingdom Thinking. Now let me go back and look at my thing here. So Kingdom Thinking, 28 May 2017. All right. So 20 May 2017. Now again, I would rather. There's no reason to put the date in a text frame. It's so short. Artistic text tool, So it's already here, so I just click on it. I don't click anywhere. 28 May. Oh, I don't know why that didn't work. All right, 28 May. 28 May 2017. I think that's the way it said it. Was that the way it said it? May 2017. Okay. All right. So again, this isn't where I want it, nor the size that I want it. All right. Again, I'm not doing the Japanese, so go ahead and do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Command. I think I may be wrong on this. Let me see how this works. Command. Yeah. So if I'm holding Command, of course I'm on a Mac. If you've got this on Windows, it should be Control, right? It should be Control. You can, if you hold Command as you do this, it will increase size from the center outwards, so it won't get out of alignment. All right, 28 May 2017. That's really kind of big, but whatever. And it looks, different than normal because I don't have the Japanese in there and stuff. So whatever. All right. And let me give you a little bit of a warning. It depends on what you're resizing. Sometimes it will not resize proportionally. I mean, I can do this too, right? And sometimes that's good, or you can stretch it out this way. Now, I don't want that. But there are times when you might grab the corner here. Usually, when you grab the corner, it's going to resize proportionally. All right. But there are times when you don't want to, and there are times when by mistake or depending on what you're resizing, even if you grab it here, sometimes it does not resize proportionally. And I don't think I'm going to need to show you how to fix it today, but just be kind of forewarned. It can happen, and there's a way to get around it, but I'm not going to share that today. Anyway, however, let's say I've done something which I don't like. Your friend, and it's really the same thing on PC, and most software is on a PC, on Windows, it's going to be Control. On your Mac, it's going to be Command. Command Z will undo the last thing you did. Now, I still got this a little bit tall. I just dragged this out, so I'm going to Command Z again, and now I'm back to normal. And I can be sure of that because I have my character panel up over here, and within that, this is the stretch, and this is the height, stretching. So 100%, 100%. So I can tell for sure that I'm back to just normal. All right. Normal proportions for this font. All right. So whatever. Wherever I want it. Okay. So that's that. The beauty of this is you don't have to hit your delete key or your enter key and your tab key or whatever, your space key to get things spaced out the way you want. You put it where you want it, and Affinity Designer is going to say, okay, I'll do it. You don't have to fight with it. You do what you want. All right, so there we go. That's that again, no Japanese, so I'm going to go back to what I want to do next. So the first point, what do people gain from all their labors? What do people gain from all their labors? I could copy and paste it, but I'm not going to do it. All right. So what do people gain from all their labors? Again, this is very short. This is not a paragraph. It would be ridiculous to put this in a text frame. There's no reason at all to do it. So, going back here. Back on my, I don't know why that flying out, whatever. All right, so here, what do people gain from all their labors? What do people gain from all their labors? Got this really small. I should change that just so you can see it, but whatever. Go back here. Now this one you might know that you want like kind of a standard size font. Yeah, when you know it, great. Go over here and do it. So you know that I want 12. I hate 12. 12 is actually too big for some things and too small for other things. Probably for the sermon notes, it could be a little bit bigger. But I go with 11 actually. I don't know why. Whatever, I'll hit 12. So there we go. Now this one, I'm just going to move it out of the way. I'm not trying to align this anywhere. Just moving it out of the way for now. All right. So I think that's correct. So what do people gain from all their labors? What do people gain from all their labors? It looks right. If it's wrong, forgive me. So why die before your time? All right, so I'll go back here. Yeah, sometimes you have to click twice, but why die before your time? I think that's wrong, isn't it? Wow, I have a great memory, it just doesn't last long. Why die before your time? Why die? Oh, I got it. Wow, amazing. Okay, that's fine. That's not really in my way. I'll click. See, the first click gets you out of this one, and it doesn't actually start your next artistic text place. So there it is. The next third, no one is good enough. So no one is good enough. All right. So I'm all right there. Get ready for my next one. Do what he tells you. All right. Do what he tells you. Always a good idea. And the last one, work at it with all your heart. Again, 2 clicks. Work at it with all your heart. Okay. For now, I think I'll probably just do that and get things kind of somewhat aligned here. Now, all right. You notice I didn't put any numbers? There's a reason for it. I think it's probably better to not do that. In fact, I'm sure it is. It depends on what you want it to look like. So I've got all the points typed out. Again, I didn't put any Japanese, but go back here. Now they're all over the place. But let's say that, you know, hey, oh man, work at it with their heart. Well, I'll tell you what, I want to change these around. I think this is a good way to finish the message, if you wanted to do that. Well, obviously, it's just a matter of grabbing that, moving it there, grabbing this one, moving it down. Okay. No big deal, right? Now, I think in Word, what do? You copy, paste it probably behind the one that you want to move down here. Or actually, you may have cut that. I don't know. There's a couple ways to do it, I guess. But and then what? Cut. Highlight this, cut it, and then paste it down here. It's just a bunch. It's a hassle. Just grab it and move it, right? All right, but whatever. Move this back. But obviously, alignment isn't good here, right? Okay. Well, let's fix this. And now, to be honest with you, I really do suggest that you do not, when you're getting your information on the page, don't bother with alignment at first. It's actually a bad idea. Get the main things down, then start worrying about alignment. Now you see these green lines keep popping up to align with the other text, right? Which is good, but sometimes it's annoying. But anyway, I can align that way. That's aligned. These edges are matching up. If you noticed, right? The green line right there. All right. But it's also telling me that this is the center with this text. Whatever. Cool. But let's say that I want to do that. Okay. Now we're all aligned these three. But this is not what you want to do. Sometimes if you've got a couple of things and that's it, that's completely fine. But that's not what you want to do. We want to select all of these at the same time. There's a couple ways you can go. Click, hold Command or Control, click. Oh, sorry about that, didn't work. Click, right, click, Control, click. Oh, I got it wrong. I think it must be Shift. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Shift and click is going to let you control. But that's not the best way either. What you want to do is just, you've got your Move tool, come over here, select them all. Now they're all selected at the same time. I kind of made a little mistake, but it's good. It'll give me the opportunity to make something more clear in a minute here. All right, so I've got all these selected. We want the left sides to line up. Although, we could make them all kind of centered. I don't think the sermon notes are, the sermon notes don't always have to be the same, I don't think. Keeps them from getting boring, but whatever. So, I'm creating this basically like this, so in that vein, so they're all selected, so I want the left edges to align. Well, come up here, there's an alignment tool. Arrange, it says. Click that. All right. Now, this can work several ways. It knows basically what I want to do. I want to get these sorts of things aligned because they're all selected. So if you look at it, it kind of makes sense, right? The left edges, you want to align the left edges. Align center, align right. And then this one is space horizontally. Rather than explain, I'll kind of show you how this works in a minute. And this is aligning vertically, so I can line these all to the very top of the page. Well, yeah, to the very top one. I can align them all. The top edges, align the center edges or whatever, and the bottom. Basically, if I click any of these, they're all going to get mashed together. Watch. Boom. That's definitely not what I want, right? So our friend, Control Z, gets that back. However, I lost my selection, so I'm going to select these again. And when I did that, my flyout went away. So select it again, hit arrange again. Obviously, this is what we want. We don't want them. Oops, I lost something here. Wow, how did that happen? That is weird. I have no idea how that got up there. Well, our friend Control Z, Control Z. Wow, I don't know how I did that. Anyway, it's back. Control Z, our friend, right? Okay, so go ahead and select these again. And hit this dealie again. Obviously, we don't want to play with anything right here, right now. We want to get the left edges aligned. If we wanted to do right, sure, go ahead. But that's not what we want now. We will want it later, though. All right, hit left. Actually, I said we want this. I don't think we do want that later, but anyway. All right, so the left edges are aligned. Cool. You're seeing a problem, probably. That's it. Left edges are, aligned. Then they're all selected at the same time. I can move them all together, so they don't get messed up when I don't have to move them individually. I can move them together. Now, you're seeing that this is not right. There's a couple problems. One, they're all bunched together too much. And the other is the spacing between them isn't equal. Now in Word, sorry, you can probably hear this background, lovely, it's 12 o'clock music. Yay. Alright, so you can see that the spacing here and whatever is not good. You can see that they're all bunched together too much. This needs to come down a lot. Whatever. Probably would be up a little bit higher. This is visual, You don't have to go counting and trying to, space things out. It's a hassle in Word and those sorts of programs. Anyway, they're all together here. They're all aligned left, but I have a problem. They're not spaced equally, and they don't really come down far enough, right? We got more space, why not use it? Yes, I will be putting in the head, heart, hands thing in a bit here. So, what can I do about this? Well, first I want to get rid of this selection. And this is so easy, guys. This is so easy, it's crazy. So, let's say that I've got this, I had already, as I had them all selected just now, I got this about where I want it to start, okay? Again, I don't have the numbers in here, but whatever. So where do I want the last one? Where do I want this to end up? Let's say, and this isn't going to be perfect actually because I haven't put in the head, heart, hands thing, so it might change a little bit. But basically, I can say, well, it's probably going to go, maybe right about there. Let's say. All right, so that's about where I want it. Now, with my green thing, I haven't really lost alignment. If I was worried about losing my alignment here, I would just select them again and do what we just did a second ago, align them left, right? But that should be good. It seems to be aligned still. Go ahead and select them all again. All right, now go back up to our little friend arrange up here. Fly out. Now we do want this aligned vertically. Now again, if I hit this, they're all going to match together, or this, or this. Either way, they're all going to match together. But this little dealie is going to space them vertically. So when I hit that, looky. All right, good to go. No counting lines, no doing all that stuff. And I know I know I've got this where I want it. So that's simple. It might be a little high, I might readjust it, I don't know. But that's it. Now, numbers. I would do the same thing. And I think there's a good reason to do this. But you know, you might, when you type this out, you could have put 1, you could have put 2, you could have put 3, right with these. You know, it's an option. I just kind of don't really like to, but whatever. Um, the bit of a hassle here, you know, I hit 1, then I have to click twice to get a new place to type 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to Control Z and go back to 1. Oops. Oh, yeah. I have to hit it several times because I had to do those double clicks to get out of there. Now let's say I've got something here. I've got this 1, but I don't need just 1. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it will happen as you're doing something. You'll have maybe done something like typed a 1, and you remember you got to do something else. So you're doing something else, and then you get back to, okay, I got to number these. Well, when you're doing something else, perhaps you've done some more text. Well, if you have done more text, maybe you have chosen some different font or something, but you get back here like, instead of going and trying to figure out what this font was and the size was and going back and trying to figure it out and then redoing it, you wouldn't want to do that. What you'd want to do, you've got your 1 here already, so you know that this is what you want basically. Select it, and then on my Mac, on your PC, it would be Alt. Now I'm assuming that the hotkeys or whatever are the same between Windows and Mac versions basically. So there could be differences. Sometimes there are. So I apologize if it's not Alt. But on my Mac, I hit Option. Get in there. This is kind of small, so it's a bit hard. If I hit this, it's going to mess me up. So I got to get right in the middle here. But if I hold Option while this is selected, I hold Option, click on it, and drag. I've just copied it. Just got a duplicate of that. But the beauty of that is I know for a fact it's the exact same font, exact same size, everything's the exact same. These are exactly the same. And so I know that I want 2, so I would double click on it. Oops. I know there's 2 ways. I can double click on it. See this again. I don't know why it's not working, because it's so small. Yeah, it's small. So I'll just go ahead and click in here. And now, actually, it's hard to see, but I'm within there and I can type again. So now my cursor was there. I've just moved to the right so I can go back and delete it and then type 2. Anyway, doing it this way, if you for some reason became uncertain of what this font was, the size, the whatever design style, a good way would be just duplicate it like I just did, and you've got the exact same everything, and then just select the text or delete it and retype something, whatever you want. All right, so there we go. So there's my 2. Now I could continue doing this. Because it's small, it's a bit of a hassle. But just to show you one more time, I've got it selected. Option, click, drag. I've just copied it. I really wish that would work. Usually, well, here, I'll just show you. If I've got this selected, I can double click. It'll automatically give my typing tool back to me. Because it's so small, it's just not working, sorry. But that's possible. So I was in this tool. If I double click in it, it will give me my cursor and I can type. I can fix something or whatever. Of course, when I've got it selected, I could just hit this and it gave me my cursor again. But anyway, quick way, just double click in it. Now, sometimes when you do that, you might accidentally move it. Oh, darn it. Well, again, Command Z or Control Z. Could put it right back where it was. All right, so back over here. I'll just hit this. It was easier. Go ahead and delete that and put a 3. And I'm not going to continue doing it this way because I don't need to. So over here, hit 4. Double click somewhere else, 5. And I've got all my numbers. For something like this, I would probably just use the green alignment thingy should come up. So I'm aligned on the top. It turns red. For text, or sometimes it turns red. So I'm aligned at the top, aligned at the bottom. You know, I would align it at the bottom too. I would align it at the bottom. Now these are still not perfectly aligned here, but I can fix that in a second. And it's better to fix it in a second. Now see, this is actually giving me a bit of a hassle to get it aligned exactly. Because this thing here is kind of stealing, it's kind of trying to align to this too. So I want to move it over here. Ah, I know what it is. Okay. I'm really close to the actual center of this page. So if you see, as I move up just a little bit more, it will snap that 3 to exact center of the page vertically. And if I move it up more, it'll snap to the bottom of that 3. That 3 will snap to the top, center, bottom, or whatever. All right, so that's kind of making it a hassle to align with this here. All right. In that case, what I'm going to do is get it close, just kind of close, you know, whatever, doesn't matter. And I don't care with it anyway. I don't care how it's aligned with his. All right, 4. Align it with the bottom again of this. Well, if it's going to work. See, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why it does that. I think it's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, it kind of doesn't matter. 5. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. You know, it's the auto alignment dealy. It's good, but sometimes it's a hassle. Anyway, I got them there. They're somewhat aligned. What I can do here is check this. Rather, I'll tell you what, I'll just select them both like this. And I'm going to come up here. And I want those bottoms aligned. So right here. All right, so that you notice, if you notice that 5 dropped down, go back and look at it if you like. All right, so I'm going to do this with the 4. Make sure the 4 and the bottom of this text is aligned. Okay, do this with the 3, which I was having a lot of trouble with. All right, and just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do it with the 2 and the stuff as well. Probably shouldn't move. Didn't seem to move. And where we at here? That didn't seem to move. All right, now. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, they're all aligned with the bottom of the text perfectly. Okay. Now, obviously, they're not aligned this way, vertically. So I want to select all these. Now, it's very easy. I can come down, select them all. Now, I don't have to be careful with this. Some different programs work differently. Some programs, if you just touch one of the text areas here, it will select it. But this one doesn't. You have to select the whole area, or it won't select it. It won't put it in your selection. So these are all, just these numbers are selected. So I can get, you know, they're selected, you know what to do, come up here. Now I can align them left, I could align them center, or right, it really probably doesn't matter. So I'll just do the left, center, right, whatever. That looked probably better to me, just the space it gave me, but they were all aligned anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so because it's just one character. Anyway, I'll leave that like that. And there we go. So I'm kind of taking a long time. I mean, you probably could have done this more quickly in Word if you're used to it. But the point is, I'm showing you how to do this, so it takes longer. But you get used to it, it's really easy. But the thing is, when any little thing out of the ordinary, you know, sometimes you want to, okay, well, this week I want to put some, some text in here. It's very easy to do. You come over here, choose your text frame tool, whatever, or whatever you want to do. All right, so let me recreate this down here. Now I had copied something. Let me see here. I'm going to open a file, recent, head, heart, hands. I'm just going to copy this. Copy. I had opened another file without closing the old one, so I've just head, heart, hands, right? So I just copied this. Come over here. I'll paste this in anywhere, doesn't matter. Again, can work on the alignment later. So paste it. All right. I guess it automatically pasted up there. Okay. Now they're all grouped together, and I'm going to want to ungroup those, but whatever. I'll leave that there for now. What is it? Oops. What does it say? So head. What does it say? What does it? This isn't a preview. It's the alignment's all messed up, so it's kind of a hassle here. What does it say? What does it mean to me? What does it? What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What am I going to do about it? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and type it. There's a couple ways I could do this, but to show you the text frame tool, I'll just use that. All right. All right. Text frame tool. Now, when you have the text frame tool, I'm just moving this around with my magic mouse. That's the whole idea, is the frame. You want to create a frame. Okay. Yeah. It'll give me alignment options, and I'll leave it there. Now I'm ready to type. So, what does it say? What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What does it say? And so this is, and I'm just hit enter. What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What was the last one? It said, oops, hello. Yeah, what am I going to do about it? Okay. So, what am I going to do about it? Okay. Now, this is basically, like I said, within this box, the way it operates more or less is like word processing within this box. So it's like Word within this box. I could, choose individual words and highlight them, underline them, do all those sorts of things if we wanted to. All right, however, I've got basically what I want in there. All right, up here, again, I want to kind of get out of the typing tool. I got it selected. I don't like Arial. I hope you don't either. All right. Okay, something a little different, give a little contrast with this stuff. So, actually, this is the same font. This got bolded, didn't it, somehow? Yeah, I don't know why it's bold. I didn't intentionally bold it. I must have hit it by mistake, whatever. I kind of don't like it, actually. So, let me show you something here. Let's say I don't like the bold. I don't like it. Select them all. Unclick bold. There you go. No biggie. All right. I didn't have to do that. I'll show you why. Because this is actually a text box, I don't have to click and drag to select all that. I just click and it's all selected. Okay, so I don't like Arial. And this is the same font I have all the way. Gil Sans, Shri, whatever. Just to do something different. I don't really like this, but let's see, maybe. You notice that something gets messed up down there. Kind of like that. All right, whatever, choose this font. Now if you notice, I'll just leave it just to show you something. All right, so let's say, oh, I like this font, but what in the heck happened to my alignment there? Why in the world would that go down there? Well, because your text frame, remember this is a text frame, it's different. This is the size you've got. It's only this big, so it wrapped down there. So you just grab it. See, does not, when you're in a text frame, it does not resize the text. It just makes the text frame bigger or smaller. Okay? So if you get wrapping somewhere where you don't want it, yeah, you just make this bigger. All right? Now, but that isn't really the font I wanted. I wanted this one. All right, so we're good to go basically. Now this gets into design, and I kind of don't, I'm going to change how it looks a little bit than what it normally does. So, because I think we can just kind of simplify this, and that's what I had done before. Anyway, I thought let's align these on the right. Now, I'll be honest, I just learned something the other day about this. But I'll show you the way that I always have done it, and so it should be easier. So I've got this like this, but I want to align this differently. Now I do have alignment options up here too. I could do it here, no big deal. And this is what I want to do. I want to align it right. All right? So what does it say? What does it mean? What does it mean to me? What am I going to do about it? All right. Now to me, this looks like the spacing is more than I want. I kind of don't like that. I think it should be a little bit tighter. So what I can do, I believe that's what this is perhaps. Yeah, it is. Paragraph leading. I always mess with it over here. But whatever, you can do it here. I don't know. I just am used to doing it over here. So 5, well, that's, it just changed the space. If you see what's happening over there. Change the space, This, is such a hassle in Word and stuff to change this, right? I don't think you have that many options. So, I don't know, maybe something about like that. Let's say 8. All right? Now, I will go ahead and do this in Japanese and show you what's going on here and some things you have to be careful about. This extra space doesn't really matter, but I always kind of do that. I might want to respace these in a little bit, but we'll see. Now, I don't really want that in the center. What I want is I want these in the center. So go ahead and center these. All right. All right. And it's, yeah, probably about right. Maybe a little bit more space on the bottom there. If you're close to where you want something, and then it starts snapping where you don't want it, you can just use your arrow keys to move it more precisely. Just move it a little bit or something. Okay. All right. Basically, that's fine. I mean, I can resize these and get this a little more precise. Maybe this one. What I've done is these are 3 different graphics, but I've grouped them together so they stay together. But if I want to rearrange or realign them or something, I'm going to have that selected and hit ungroup because they're grouped together. Ungroup. So now they're still all selected, but if I click out somewhere and click back, now I've just selected the heart. So I thought the heart should come down a bit. Perhaps the hands can come up. Oops. Oh, the hands are actually separate. So I want to select these. Actually, what I want to do, select that, and I want to group those. I don't think there's any reason to have those on groups. So you can have groups within groups. All right. So select those together, move them up a little bit. Visually, it seems, oh, I don't need to do that. I don't know why I did that. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to realign these whole things here. Got out of alignment. So I'm going to align them all with one another. Center. All right. So they're all aligned now. Now again, get these back in the center of the page. All right, they are. Good. Didn't move too much. All right. Now the only alignment I really need to do is up and down. I think this should go down. Technically, the head part, I guess, is really with the first two. What does it say? What does it mean? Heart is what does it mean to me. Hands, what am I going to do about it, right? I'm just showing you how to do this, so this isn't really perfect. All right. I had started to move the hands over stupidly because these are in the center. I don't want to move those. Oh, by the way, I've got these about how I want them for now, so I'm going to go ahead and regroup these so I don't accidentally mess it up. So select them all. Again, this is already a group. These are separate hands. Hit group. And so they're all grouped again. All right, just makes things simpler. I don't mess up alignment. All right, but I thought that the space between here was probably too much, so I want to move these over a little bit, just like that. And I'll just, because it's such a small space, I'll just do it with my arrow key. I don't know, maybe about that. It's kind of cool. It gives you the space, the distance there. You see the 6.16. I don't know what it is, millimeters perhaps. I'm not sure. Should be. But anyway, so that looks about right. Now, I want to keep things the same as much as possible. However, I don't, oh, maybe it does. I don't think so. I don't believe this has a Japanese font in it. Maybe it does. Haiti? Haiti? I don't know. Maybe it is, which would be good. But anyway, now I've done some different things. I want to get the Japanese text over here, but I want it to be the same size, the same font, and that kind of sort of thing, if it's possible. I might have to change the font. So again, I've got it selected, holding the Option key. Click it, drag it. All right, I got an exact duplicate. Now let me see if I can, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste some Japanese text. This is going to be a bit weird, perhaps. Again, this is just a preview. It's not going to copy real well, I don't think. So one, I don't know. Oops. Yeah, it's going to open up in Pages. Probably better, it aligns better. But one, so, yeah. I'm going to do these individually. Control C. I don't know if this is going to work right. Control V. Ooh, yeah, I changed the font. Well, I'm going to get these in here and then I'll worry about it. So the font I had before doesn't have Japanese in it. So perhaps it does. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to copy these over and then I'll worry about it. All right. Control C. Go back. Control V. Do it again. Control C. Oops, wrong one. Control V. It looks terrible right now, I know. Control C. Again, basically you want to get everything down first and then worry about how it looks. Control V. Whoops, what did I do here? No, Control Z. What in the world? Why that happened? Control V. All right. Okay. Now, ouch. I think this is the font that it was typed in this document. and I think it just kept that font. There's ways around that, but whatever. It's easy, and it should be easy. However, I don't know. Haiti. Ah, it does have a Japanese font. It does. It is Japanese. Okay, good. Makes the things a little bit easier. All right. So this kept the font that it was originally in when I copied it, which is actually kind of a nice font, but whatever. Here we are. Now we know we've got this font and this font are the same. 12-point medium. It doesn't say anything about 12-point, but yeah, it's a bummer. It got messed up. Oops. I think I see a problem in here, but let's see here. It's weird. No idea why that, well, okay, that kind of makes sense. There are differences between Japanese fonts and English, obviously, I guess, but the spacing and all that stuff, it gets quite weird. So even though these are the same, they're not the same. If you remember here, if you look up here at 20-point, when I switch here, it's actually 12.4, which is not how I said it. I think I had changed it. I did change it. That's not right. It's actually at 8. I don't know why it says 12.4 there. But anyway, it's 8. Actually, it's 8. If I come over here, what is it? It says 20. It's because of the way the Japanese characters are measured in their sizes and stuff, so that happens. But you can see, obviously, these are not really aligned correctly. Even though I copied this over, they're not aligned correctly. So let's see. I'll select this one, holding Shift, select this one. Now clicking and dragging to select them wouldn't really quite work because I would have selected this as well. So this time I hit this one, clicked it, selected it, Shift, clicked it, selected it. So this is not selected actually. So it's not going to move. All right. So I'll align the bottoms. I'm hoping this one moves and not this one, but sometimes the one that you don't want to move moves. So okay, that worked. All right. So now I know they're aligned on the bottoms, and they look relatively good. Yeah, they look right. Okay. So this is too far out. I remember it was 6, wasn't it? Let's see if I can get this down to 6 and if it looks right. You don't have to pay attention to the numbers and everything. You know, if it doesn't look right, it's not right. Sometimes things will technically be aligned, but they don't look aligned. If they don't look aligned, they're not aligned. That's the better way to think about it. Technically they are, but if it doesn't look like it, it doesn't matter. So I would change it. Technically that doesn't look aligned. This looks out more, but I'm going to leave it. It's not a big deal. Let's see here. See, this looks, because of the way the kanji is, it looks like there's more space here. So I'm going to move these back more. See what that looks like. So this is a little more airy kind of than this, so I'm just moving it back. And still even a little bit. I'll move back just a bit. All right. Now you notice this one I had aligned to the right, but this one, when I did the copy paste, it went back to the left. But I was going to change that anyway because that's the way I think it kind of looks good like that. All right. Basically, you can see aligning things, even though it took a long time to explain it. It's pretty easy, and I would suggest like a line or something around there myself. I would grab a box, maybe with rounded corners. Just make any box anywhere, you know. Grab it. Oh no, what happened here? It's on the top. No big deal. All right, I'll go ahead and center that about. Well, that might not look right either when I get done here. But anyway, there's my box. Now, the problem is, I had mentioned before layers. This is all the text, everything that I've done. Basically, that box is sitting right on the very top layer. Now, if I can click this and drag it down, but it's not. That can be confusing, and there's so many things here, so I won't do that. If I've got it selected, I can come up here, and this will move things to the front or to the back. This will move it all the way to the bottom. This will move it back one step. And because it's on the very top right now, these are moved forward, but I can't move any more forward. So I'll move it all the way to the back. There we go. Now it's in the back. All right. So, that's that. Probably a little, oops, selected the wrong one. Gotta be careful of that. Make that a little bit bigger maybe, like that, a little more space around it. You know, basically I like this because it's very simple. Actually now, see, I got a little less space here than what I really want. You see, there's a lot of space. I would grab this. Now, if I grab this, my 5 is going to stay behind, so I would grab both. And I would use my arrow key to get it about a space which I feel comfortable with. I think right about there. Well, yeah, maybe right about there. All right. Well, you know what I can do? I don't know how this will look. Well, let's just try it. What I was going to do is what I just did there. And after, giving a little more space here, go ahead and select everything again, like we have done before, and hit this space vertically. Oops, I have no idea why that happened. What in the world? Wow. Well, Control Z. Why did that happen? That is really weird. I have no idea why that happened. That makes no sense. Oh, what? Why would that happen? Okay, I kind of know what's going on here. All right, Control Z. All right, oops, Control Z again. All right. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. This, what I think I can do to fix this is I'll go ahead and, it's kind of a hassle, but group them, individually, kind of, the number, whatever. Grouping can really be important sometimes. Group it. Now at this point you might be thinking this is way too much for sermon notes, right? But listen, again, I'm explaining all this as I go. This could be done so fast, it would be crazy. But anyway, so those are all together now, so this should work all right. Select these all. These gets messed up this time. That is really weird. Should be good. All right, good to go. Okay. Should have worked before, to be honest with you. It doesn't make sense why it didn't, but anyway. Now that's better. It's not too bad. However, actually, to be honest, I still don't think that's good. There's too much space, or too little space there. So what should be able to do here is select all of these plus. Okay, so oops, yeah, select all of those plus Shift, click on here, and I've also selected that. Now it should give me a perfect spacing. Should. Oh. Now the space between here and here, here and here, here and here, here and here, and here and here are all the same. Although it looks like there's actually more space here. I think that's just because of the way the box is. But I would, because it does look a little, this looks a little high to me. Well, I can just select the whole thing as a group. Yeah, pull it down some. Yeah, kind of looks better. When it looks right, it's right. And basically that's it. This text is probably too big. I would maybe make it smaller. What is this? 12. This is also 12. All right, let's shrink it down. Because these are in the text frames, it is easier to do this. All right, how was that? 12, maybe 11, 10. I think 10 kind of looks good, 10 or 11-ish. And the thing is, you know, if you know how to use this, basically you'll probably want to just keep this as one group and copy and paste it into another document, whatever. But let me see here. I'm not explaining everything as I go. I think you get the idea here. So just look and I think you know what I'm doing. I don't exactly like the corner radius. I think it's a little too much. Like that. Just to show you. I don't know. I'd probably leave it about like that. I don't know. I kind of don't like that, but the a lot of times when I'm trying to select this background, I keep accidentally selecting this, so I would just make this smaller. It's not going to hurt anything. This one as well. Just changing the size of the text box, text frame. All right, so come in here, select this. I can change the color if I want. You've got color. Change whatever color you need here. Swatches, which is good if you have a color scheme. The thing I want to tell you though is it has two colors here. This could be confusing at first. This is your fill color, and this is your outline color, basically. Okay. Fill color. It looks white here, but it's actually, you can tell, gray. You can change it to orange. Change to blue. Obviously, the middle disappears because you can't distinguish it. You know, whatever. I actually kind of recommend some light color because, again, the sermon notes can be simple, but I think just little things make it look designed and stuff. It's just kind of good, but whatever. Now let's say that for some reason I like orange. But let's say that's just too strong. There's a couple ways I can do with this. Go back to my color. I can play with it here and get it a little less strong. What I can do here is change the opacity of the color till it's even gone. You know, something like that. Whatever. This is just for fun, just to show you it can do it. But what I wanted to really kind of say here, go back because I don't like leaving my opacity down, but whatever, is that's the fill color of that box. But if you click on this little key, this is your outline, your stroke, is what it's called. But it looks like it's black, perhaps. It's hard to tell, but this just controls the color. Go into the stroke here, the width. So I can make an outline on that box like that. I think a little bit of an outline would probably be good. That doesn't look great, but whatever. Just show you can do it, right? There's a bazillion other things this program can do, all right? But that's kind of some basic stuff. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy here, but let's just say, okay, we're happy with that. It doesn't have the Japanese, but you know, we can do it if we want. It's pretty simple. You know how to line things. Otherwise, this is the main points, but you've got a second page, right? You've got the scriptures and stuff that you like to put in. So come over here, your artboard tool. You could do is drag out a new page basically, but that's not a good idea. Size, what size do you want your new artboard? I don't know why it's called artboard, whatever, I don't care. I think default is going to be document, so it's going to give you the same size you've already got. And so I would just hit insert artboard. You've got a new place to work. Now, most of this will be copy paste because you're going to be copying for some Bible program or something like that, right? All right, so I'm going to go here, draw out a text frame. Whoops, messed that up. Control Z. All right. Go here. I don't know what in the world that is doing here. Now, what in the world? Weird. I would keep the Japanese and English totally separate. All right. Change the size of that, but oops. So I'll choose all the English. Control C. I'm in here. Control V. And I've got it. It keeps the formatting of everything that you already had. Times New Roman, again, should go the way of the wind. Consistency, all right, 12, not too bad, I guess. Folder eyes. If you hear something rustling around, that's Kiyomi. Make something comfortable to read. Yeah, we do have to put Japanese in here. We can think about this in a minute. Something that looks kind of sort of comfortable, easy to read. Just get it out there. Still, I think this is a mess in this stuff, but whatever. I'm just basically, all right. Okay. I think there's better ways to space this. To be honest with you, I think double two columns would look good. And that's the way I would do it before. This program does not do that automatically, I don't think, which is a bummer. All right, Japanese goes all the way down here. Command C. Now I want to keep these separate, so draw another box. Now the box, if it doesn't actually contain it, it's not going to be a big deal, but Control V, Command V rather. All right, got these little boxes. All right, I'm back. That was a really weird issue I was having. This appears to me to be a Mac issue. Kind of cool in a way what Mac is doing. There's doing some weird things behind the scenes, but it can cause some problems. So anyway, with the fonts and stuff, weird, very weird stuff. But I got a workaround. Anyway, I was able to copy and paste into Affinity Designer. What I did is I opened it up. Well, it doesn't matter because I don't think it's going to be an issue for you. But anyway, I got it pasted in here. Seems to be correct. However, let me see. now that I say it's fixed, let me see if I'm correct. So yeah. Although this isn't the best font. Something's funny about that. So let's see here. You see, the thing that Mac is doing, it's kind of cool, but it's so stupid. For example, let me see, chalkboard. There is no way that this font actually has Japanese characters. It does not. And that's why, but normally they would all just be boxes. Most programs will just show you boxes and say, hey, we don't know what we're supposed to put in this space. It doesn't make sense to us, right? But this Mac, it gives it some weird, Japanese font. If you notice the number, I'm sitting here pointing at the screen. You can't see. The numbers are actually in the chalkboard font, and it's sort of trying to give this different font feel to chalkboard of the Japanese font, but it's not. There's no way that's actually the chalkboard font in Japanese because there is no Japanese chalkboard font. That is so weird. I can't understand why Mac is doing this. It is weird. Now Charter, again, there's no way that is actually Japanese. This is not Japanese fonts. Anyway, let's see here. Now, this is a real Japanese font. Okay. And so the whole thing changes. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. So whatever, just gonna go with something Gothic here. Whatever. Choose that. Obviously for this, that's ridiculous. 18. Why is that 18? Just hit. That's not gonna work. I don't know why. Over here, my hit auto is 18. That is weird. Font is just too big. Change the font over here also. Somewhat small. Anyway. Interesting. I see. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's there. copy and paste there because the Mac is something weird. I don't know. I don't think this was an Affinity Designer issue, because basically the same thing was happening in other programs on pages and stuff within Mac. You know, the non-Japanese fonts were showing Japanese fonts, so the Mac is doing something behind the scenes. Really weird. It's kind of cool in one way, but in another way, it can be a problem. So anyway, um, the Japanese is there. This actually needs to be made to look better. I'll figure out how to do it later. But this is basically, you know, what can be done. Again, because I'm explaining this, it seems like it may be like more trouble than it's worth to you, but especially aligning things here. I mean, it's so simple to create this, and this really was simple too. It just had some issue with this, but yeah, this is obviously very basic stuff. This is actually designer software, and you can do a bazillion things. All right. So instead of well, I'll just end this video here, and then I'll maybe show you some other things that it could possibly do. All right. Thanks. I hope it was helpful. Hope it didn't confuse you too much, and hope it doesn't seem overwhelming, because really it's quite simple. So again, this is a very simple document, but whenever just something, you know, want to do something a little bit different, I think you'll have to fight very little with this to do what you want to do. Basically, if you can think about it, if you can think it, you can do it. There's a lot of stuff with like Word and stuff. It's because it's not designed to do this sort of stuff, not designed to work this way. You're very limited. You can make this work much more like Word than you can make Word work like this. Again, when you make a text frame, basically you can make it kind of operate like Word. But Word, you can't really make operate like this. So there you go. You would just save it. So a file, save. If you save it like this, it's going to save it in AF Design, obviously. So it's this designer's, you know, proprietary format. All right, so I'm not going to bother saving it. Don't need it. But the other thing I want to say is when you get something done, and this is kind of what I suggest, is to come up here and hit File, Export. You have a lot of choices: PNG, JPEG, GIF, TIFF, PSD. I don't know how exactly it saves the PSD, so that may be different. But basically, these are your. Basically, it's going to turn into a picture, more or less. It's going to turn in, you know, a picture of what you've got here. This is SVG. It's for graphic stuff. PDF is really going to be good. You choose PDF for print, and all of the options are going to really be what you need. You have to be careful here. I had done something before, and I just chose to export Artboard 2. Whole document is what you'll want most of the time if you've got more than one page, whatever. But if you do something, you think, oh, I just need to save this page. Well, that's, if you look up here, it's Artboard 1. It's hidden behind here right now, but it says Artboard 2 over in this area. But anyway, you can choose what you want, or you can just save a selection also. You know, so I could just, if I save selection, or selection with background, or selection without background, I would be saving just this. But I don't want to do that. So whole document. Don't export layers hidden by, excuse me. Don't worry about that. You have more choices, but no, you don't really need to worry about them. Export. And you'll be given, you know, it's going to be PDF. You can give your title name, save it where you want it, whatever. And that's that. So hopefully this was good. Sorry, it's maybe a little bit longer to involve, but you can watch it in chunks or whatever. Take it easy. Yeah, bye.